Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ask Dental Views. I'm Dr. Sundar Iftikhar and I have with me Dr. Abdul Samad Khan. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. So today we're going to continue from our last episode. We discussed briefly what a Fulbright application is and what are its different components. So today we're going to focus on the personal statement.
Yes, and which is very important thing.
Yes, it is.
Which is very important thing. Yes, last time we discussed about the GRE, but very important component, and where again I know because many people they contacted me, and maybe I'm sure they contacted you as well, like how to write a personal statement. Okay, so again, you have to share your experience. I'll give my input. First, what is the significance of this personal statement?
Okay. So, for me, what my mentor told me was that a personal statement is not a CV. So, whatever you're writing in your CV, do not repeat that in your personal statement. It
Exactly.
is to highlight your strengths and to explain your weaknesses. Some
Yes.
universities give you an option, and I'm not talking about Fulbright, I'm just talking about other universities if you're directly applying there. They give you an option to write an essay to explain why you couldn't score the minimum GPA required to apply for a PhD program. See, so I had some weaknesses in my CV and I wanted to explain that. So I will disclose my weaknesses over here just to, give you an idea of what I explained in my CV. So my weakness was going from a dentistry background to dental biomaterials and then to medical education and then to educational research. So I had to explain my pathway of why I chose what I chose to do. So I'm
Yes.
not going to, explain in detail what I wrote because that's something very personal to me. And yes, and also one very important tip, never ask anybody for their personal statement
Exactly.
unless you've shared yours with them first. And then it is up to them whether they want to share theirs or not. Because
Yeah, that's very important because sometimes people they do this thing that without writing their own personal statement, they ask you
yes,
to share your personal statement with them, and then
yes,
they something do some copy paste or
yes.
take
And the
some
person who's
note
not,
from there.
yes, exactly. The person who's not sharing, they're not being selfish. They
Yeah,
are doing it for you because people would know if you have copied somebody else's personal statement because it's very personal to you, like because you're explaining your own experiences, and it's better that you write it in your own words because then you'll be able to communicate it in a much better way. So,
exactly.
yeah. And
Right.
also,
Again.
what I did was I also did not look at any templates present online. I just first wrote a very rough draft myself, and then I went on to look at other people's personal statements, and they were entirely different from what I had written because I had made it a little bit dramatic as well. I had inserted some quotations as well.
So that was my actually question.
Yes.
Like, what should you add in your personal statement? Like some catchy words, some quotations, or some idioms. You know, can we add these things?
I did. So
Yes.
because I have always been into English literature, not because I've been reading novels ever since I was like 10 years old. So I included some quotes from the books that were life changing for me. So
Okay.
how those things connect with my profession or my personal life.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I did, and it's up to you if you want to or not. Or I've also seen some people share some personal anecdotes in the beginning. So for
Yes.
my Fulbright scholarship, I did share a personal anecdote, but when I shared it with a reviewer, so they thought that it did not look appropriate. And that is the reason why you want somebody to look at your application. You want a third person's point of view on your application. But again, do not share it with a lot of people. Only like have two or three
There are a few
people
people.
that you trust. So for me,
Exactly.
it was I shared it with you, and I
Yes.
also yeah, and I also shared with my other mentor, Dr. Saroj Salim. So and I also shared with Dr. Adil Anwar. So these were the three people that I trusted and I knew had experience writing and then also reviewing applications. So I just shared it with three people and I trusted their instincts.
Okay, fine. And if somebody wants to start straight away, okay, yes, this is me, and I did
Yeah.
this in my career. So is it a good approach or no
Yes, it is for the first draft.
for the first
For a
draft?
first draft, yes. So, but I would also like to share the differences in the Fulbright personal statement and the direct university personal statement. So, you need for a Fulbright, look at what their prerequisites are. Who are the candidates that they're going to shortlist? They are mostly interested in cultural exchange because it is a cultural exchange program. So, you want to focus on how you're going to bring your culture to US. And then secondly, you need to highlight your leadership qualities or if there's any community engagement that you've done.
Communicate exactly. This is what I'm
Yes,
going to say. Like your services to community.
that's right.
That's
So for
very
example,
important.
yes. So for example, dentists, they usually have dental camps and they engage in those. So
Hmm.
you want to write that as well, but don't just write it. Explain how that
Explain it.
experience is significant.
Yeah,
And
which we call it the real time examples.
yes. So how is it significant and how it maybe changed you or how that experience is going to help in your graduate studies?
Yeah.
So for me, because I had worked with an NGO, so I think that was really beneficial for me. And for that particular reason, I chose my NGO boss to write an LOR for me for Fulbright. But I
Fulbright.
knew that, yeah, but I knew
Okay, and
that,
if somebody wants to apply for the PhD, I think it's very important that they should highlight this thing. Why is it important for them to do PhD? Like,
yes.
like it's just not like this to get the degree,
Mhm.
right? What other things can bring in their life after doing this PhD program, or even if it's masters.
Yes, that's right. And that reminds me of how it is different from um, the personal statement that we're going to write for the universities directly. So when you're writing a personal statement for a university, you're going to focus on that university's mission and vision. Just go through it, whether they are like more into diversity and equity, or you want to focus on what you're going to bring as an international student or as a person from, you know, global south. And then also you're going to focus on your achievements more, on your research capabilities. And then one more important thing that somebody told me was tell them what you're going to bring for the university, because that
For the
is very,
university.
yes, for the
Yeah.
university, because that is very important for your funding.
And it should
For
highlight and it should align with the highlights of with the vision and aim of or of that university.
that university and that college, that
College.
institute, I would say,
Yeah.
because I am in University of Alabama, so that would have a different mission and vision, and then my College of Education would have a different mission and vision.
Mm.
Yes.
So it should align with both.
Yes, it should
Yes.
align with both.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's very important for the funding. Again, I would repeat that you explain what services you're going to provide them, what services you are able to provide them. That is
Correct.
not very important for Fulbright because your funding is already secured. So universities are not looking at how you're going to provide services to them. But when you're applying directly, the university is interested in how you're going to provide them services. And by
Okay.
services, I mean like research and teaching. So you're going to,
Teaching.
yes,
Yeah. Obviously, like at this level, this is what you can provide.
yes,
Right. Okay. The other thing, like many students or again the faculty members, they ask this thing like, what should be the length of that for a personal statement? 1 page, 2 page, 3 page. In my opinion, I think it depends on your previous experience.
okay,
Like if you are young and you just did your graduation, then obviously it shouldn't be very like 2 3 pages long.
yes,
But if you have like already get the master's program and you have some experience in teaching or clinical experience, and obviously so you have to add up those things in your personal statement. So in my opinion, it varies. Like at a senior level or mid career level, obviously it should be around 3 pages. I
okay.
think that's good enough,
Mhm.
or maybe 3 4 pages. But if you are relatively young, then 1 to 2 pages are good enough.
Mhm.
What's your opinion?
Yeah, so in my experience, I always had a word limit given. Like even Fulbright has a word limit given that, this is the word
Okay,
limit that you
they
should have.
have
Yes.
they have
And
already
every
provided you.
university that I wrote a personal statement for, they had a maximum word limit
And what is
given.
that?
So for some universities, it was 750 words, which is very difficult because to
Okay.
summarize everything in 750 words was a very difficult task for me. And then some have like 1,000 to 1,500 words, so you can,
Okay.
yeah. So
So
that's like
if it is
around
like,
2 pages.
yeah, no, 1,000 word means with single space or double space, it
Okay.
depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
So
Okay, like,
so that is why I'm mentioning the word limit and not the pages.
yes, okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so that's, I think we shouldn't go in this thing like one
Yes.
page or 2 page. If it
They
is
would for
clearly,
the admissions, they would usually give you a word limit. So
yeah, so
that's not an issue.
then if they mention 750 words, then it should be near to 750 words.
Yes. So
It's
mine
not
was
like this that you
749.
just write 450 words and then you
No.
say, well, they say then less than 750. Less than 750 means, doesn't mean
Yes.
450. Less than 750 means around 720, 30.
Yes. Because once you start writing your personal statement, you will realize that 750 words is very limited. Like you cannot explain what you're trying to say in 750 words.
Mhm.
You need to have like at least 1,000 word limit.
1,000 words.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Okay. And
but
yes. And one, sorry. Yes. Sorry. What do we
no,
say?
but I think one important thing is to follow their directions or guidelines.
Yes. Yes.
If they
Obviously.
mention 750 words, then no need to write 1,000 words. Just
Mhm.
just stick to 750
Exactly.
nearby.
Yes. And some universities also ask you to write another essay as well. For example, there's this university that I was applying to, and they required me to write another essay on how I'm going to bring equity and diversity into the university. So make sure that then your personal statement does not have that information because you are including that information in another essay. So you can
Okay.
use
So
your
it
personal
should be two
statement to,
different, yeah,
yes,
two
two
different
different
things.
things. It shouldn't be repetitive.
Okay.
Yes. And
Okay, great.
in a Fulbright personal statement, you do not need to write about your research proposal because there's another component of it where you're going to, write a 1 page or a 2 page thing on your research proposal. So that's another requirement. But when you're applying when you're applying directly, then it is recommended that if you have an idea in your mind, obviously it's not necessary that you're going to follow through and you're going to just do that research in your PhD. But if you have an idea, do mention it in your personal statement.
Yeah,
And if
you can share your research goals.
yes, and if you don't have like a particular research proposal in mind, you can just tell them what you're interested in. And secondly, if you've contacted an advisor and they have emailed you back showing interest, or they have talked to you and they've showed interest in you, then it highly recommended that you mention them in your personal
Personal
statement.
statement
Yes, and you tell the committee that you contacted this
or
person
communicated
and
with.
they were, yes, you communicated and they were interested in the work. Don't just say that they agreed to take you in, just say that
Yeah.
they showed their interest.
Yeah, but for me, I think it's very important. This is what I always advise to others. Like if they want to apply to any university, they should communicate with the respective supervisor or advisor. Okay, so that shows your interest that yes, you are really interested. It's not like this that you found it somewhere
Mm.
and submit the application. No, you should communicate with the department head or department supervisor or advisor. That's a very good thing, and one should
Yes.
follow this thing.
Yes. And if they reply, then there are high chances that you will get the admission.
Yes.
But even if they don't reply, I'm talking about US only because I don't know about what happens in Europe and other parts of the world. But in US, even if they don't reply and you directly apply to the university, even then you have good chances of getting into the university because the whole committee looks at the application and because we have a coursework here. So there are some students in my cohort as well who do not have an advisor yet, and they can choose an advisor in the second or third year.
Okay.
So yeah, don't be discouraged if you're not getting any replies back.
Reply
Just apply
exactly.
to the
But at
university
least
directly.
one should apply. Like because
Yes,
this is my
it
experience, own experience,
yes.
based in UK based universities. That whenever we communicated with the advisor or the supervisor or
Mm.
department head, like normally in the advertisement they normally mention the contact person name
Yes, yes.
or their email ID. So my experience is this, that whenever I contacted, I got positive response.
Okay, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I
yeah,
always
okay.
did. And that's I always tell
So
to my like students or to the other colleagues that um, contact
yes.
the concerned department or the concerned person.
So I think I contacted like maybe 20 people. I don't know. I contacted a lot of people,
Hmm.
and a few of them did get back. And the universities that I got accepted into were the ones whose advisors had replied me back or who had talked to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Related to personal statement, one
Mhm.
of my suggestion is do not use AI.
I would suggest otherwise, but please carry on first.
Yeah, no, like it's not like that. Yes, maybe you can add bits and pieces from AI, but not the whole personal statement because this is what normally the universities they ask this thing that they ask this thing that have you used AI
Hmm.
in your personal statement, and they normally discourage this thing. And recently, one of my like recently I know someone they want to apply in UK-based universities, and when they contacted me related to the personal statement, they mentioned this thing that they said the university said, do not use AI while writing your
Personal statement.
personal statement.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so be ethical.
yes.
So do not use like yes, maybe you can get some help
Yeah.
because the other thing is sometimes what happened like that's I think you already shared this experience. AI give you some very fancy words
Yes.
which
And
we
very
normally
specific
don't
words that are very
specific word
specific
we
to AI.
normally use
And
in our
yes,
day-to-day communication. Okay, and when you go for your interview
yes.
and
And
there
then
you are,
you cannot reproduce the same.
you cannot reproduce the
Yes,
same vocabulary.
yes.
Okay, so
Then there's
then
an issue.
then that's an issue.
Yes,
Okay, so yes, maybe you can get the editing and proofreading by
yeah,
someone,
yes.
but
So
if you're going to
first,
use AI for writing the whole personal statement,
no, 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 no.
just
That is
in my
not recommended
opinion,
at all. No, no, no,
that's not
not at
recommended.
all. So what you can do is, first of all, again, just look at the guidelines. If they have explicitly mentioned that do not use AI, then do not use it at all because they have softwares that can detect AI. Even if you're humanizing the language or you're doing whatever with it, they can detect AI. And once they see that you have, used AI, it is considered fraud, and you
Yes.
will be, what is it called? Like you'll be rejected, and
The-
yeah, and
Not selected. They said not rejected. They said not selected.
not selected. Yes. Okay, so if they have not mentioned that you cannot use AI, then you can, but again, write the personal statement yourself. And if you want to have your grammatical errors checked, then just ask AI to check the grammatical errors.
Yeah.
So I would recommend AI for that.
Okay. Okay. So if we summarize the importance of or the components of the personal statement that you have, like
Hmm.
how to start and then divide it into different paragraphs. Okay.
Okay.
Word limit is already mentioned as per the university guidelines.
Mhm.
Okay. So follow those.
Yes.
And what else? Like, okay, use
Okay, so
some
this
catchy words, quotations, share your.
maybe, I mean, it's totally up to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Like, but it gives a good impression.
Yes, so I would suggest make your beginning interesting because your university is going to, even Fulbright, they're going to review a lot of applications. So you need your beginning to be very attractive and very, it should stand out from the rest of the applications. So yeah, so I used a personal anecdote for my Fulbright application, and I used a quotation from a novel that I had read during my teenage for my direct application personal statement. So, and then I went on to explain how my educational background was and why I chose this profession and why I chose this post graduation, and then why I was like I had written everything in my CV. I was just explaining why those things happened and why are they significant for what I'm going to do next.
Right, right. Okay, fine. So this is what we discuss, and also we discuss about that your in personal statement should align with the vision of the university and the college. That's
Yes.
very important again. Okay, so one should focus on this. What else we discussed? Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I think so. This is what
I think that's about it.
that's
And
about it.
if
Yeah.
if anybody has any more questions, they can contact us on our Facebook page or they can leave a comment. And if you want us to review your personal statement, I can do it. I don't know about Dr. Samad, but I can do it for you.
I can do it. I normally
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
People, they send their personal statement to me, so I
Okay.
normally
Okay.
give my suggestions and
Yes. Yes.
what I have.
And you gave really good suggestions for my personal statement. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, so please do not ask for our personal statements. We are only going to review it. And it will be totally up to you whether you want to incorporate those suggestions or not, because at the end of the day, it's your application and it's your future.
Exactly, and it varies from program to program.
Yes, obviously.
Okay, this is also an important thing that you should know in which program you are going to apply and what is the importance of that program.
Yes.
Okay,
So
this is
please
that this is
tailor
what
your
you have.
personal statement
Yes, so you
accordingly.
have to tailor your personal statement according to those requirements,
Yes. Yes.
right?
So, yeah.
Okay, so here we concluded
Mhm.
our this part of
Mhm.
getting admission in US-based universities, and this next time we'll discuss something else
Yes.
related to it.
Probably the other components of a Fulbright scholarship. For example, we can discuss the letter of recommendations, who to ask for a letter of recommendation and
Yes,
how to
and the
approach
importance of
them.
that letter of recommendations.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Samat, for your time.
No, thank you very much.
Uh,
Like today,
uh,
you discussed many things and you shared your experience,
yes.
and it's a first-hand experience, I would say.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And if you have any questions, any comments, please share it in the comment box, or you can join our Facebook page as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.